What's going on, guys? It's Kyle. Welcome to the Stock Goat YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering the SoFi stock once again. And I feel like it's been an extremely long time since we've rallied into a weekend, just powering through, some of these resistance, levels that SoFi's been having. So this was a very, very good week, guys. And we all know the big news was, we had a better than expected inflation report. These inflation reports have been killing the market for 6 to 10 months. So this is a big change. And this also gets me excited to do more YouTube videos for you in the future if we can continue to stay on this path of declining inflation, because, stocks can actually start moving again because they're not so manipulated from algos, dumping and selling, as soon as a bad inflation report comes out. So we are looking pretty good. Be sure to smash the like button. Don't forget to drop a comment, and please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be keeping you updated about SoFi more and more in the future, especially as we head into 2023, which I'm very excited for. So this is going to be a pretty good video. We're also going to cover, some of the other stocks that had big earnings this week. And guys, if you click the link in the comments section, you can get $25 worth of your favorite stock to start building up your portfolio if you fund your SoFi active investing account with at least $10. So literally at $6 right now, you can get 4 shares of SoFi for free if you fund your account with $10. So take a look at that link in the comments section and get your free stock. All right, guys, we can see the CPI report came in at 7.7% for October. Economists expected 7.9% increase, and that's why we absolutely exploded. You can see the NASDAQ is still down 28% on the year right now, guys. But if you look at that 5-day chart, guys, look at that. I mean, the NASDAQ just exploded up nearly 9.3%. So we literally had almost a 10% reversal, guys, within 2 days. And that's that super big, little rip right here you're seeing, okay? Almost a 10% return. So that's what that inflation report did for us. And here are the numbers, guys. You can see June we came in at 9.1% CPI, July 8.5%, August 8.3, September 8.2, and all of these, were pretty close. 0.2%, 0.2. This one was pretty good, the month over month. But guys, look, we had a 0.5% decline from September, and the Nasdaq exploded 6%. Now remember, when that next CPI report comes out, we are literally in a game of inches right now, decimals. 7.6%, which would not be that good from, October 7.7. We can see the NASDAQ decline 5% because, inflation, paused again. But let's say we come down a little bit faster at a 7.4, we could be going up, plus 5%. So we are in a game of inches right now with, algos dumping on these CPI reports. It's not going to stop. Let's just hope the Fed continues. I say they continue to, hike up rates, maybe a 50, 25, 25 or something like that. But I don't believe now is the time to pause at all. I think now is time to really get this inflation down. So as you guys can see, 0.2% difference could get the NASDAQ or indexes moving in, 5% different directions. All right, let's move over to the day today. We can see S&P 500 almost a percent, Dow pretty flat, NASDAQ tech heavy 1.8%, Russell small cap was even up 1%. So you're really seeing NASDAQ just moving today. SoFi finished up 11.4%, down very, very slightly in the after hours. I believe market cap right now is like 5.3 billion. So we're trading pretty good right now. I believe a little bit over book value. That's pricing in no growth at all. So I think this is an insane buy at $6 still. And I think we could literally, inch to $10, by the end of the year. That's my price target, $10, if the next CPI report is very good as well. Okay, I think with the catalyst that SoFi has coming up, which is student loans starting up next year, higher interest rates is good for banks, deposits are growing. We get a good CPI report, we're going to be looking at a $10 stock in a matter of no time. We always like to stay up to date on these options, guys. You can see for options this week, November 11th, we had about 121,000 calls. So those are now expired. We're on to the next week. We can see we got 186,000 calls for next week, which is kind of high. So we may get a little bit of a manipulation possibly, but understand, this is the first week I've seen us, actually not get penned in months. We just smashed through that 550 level, and I'm going to show you that 550 level, how it's, been nasty for months and months. You can see the 50-day exponential moving average is 550, guys, and we just smashed through that. I mean, literally, I went to the bathroom and we were at like 580 in, a minute or two. So the stock just ripped in a matter of no time, okay? So understand, we're up in the, almost $6 range, and I believe the 200-day moving average is like, 770. So that's a long way to go, but understand this 550 has been a trading pattern for like 6 months. We broke over and under that. So that was a tough level, and the stock just smashed through that. So yeah, some of these calls had a nice return, and we haven't seen that in a while. But as of right now, people didn't sell them. They're worth nothing. You can't sell them. So you got to get in and out of these quick when you got just a couple of days or hours set to expire. But next week, a little bit high, but then guys, we're pretty low until January. The big leaps, 400,000 calls. It's pretty low volume for the next 6 weeks, which I really like. But I really want to see us get by these 186,000 calls, and maybe we can have a nice 20% move out of nowhere. When the open interest is really low. All right, guys, we're gonna look at some of the stocks today. You can see we're falling 123 stocks. I had a couple in the red, and then we have, a couple flat, 1%, Apple, Microsoft, Lending Club, Google 2, Upstart, 4%, Amazon, 4, PayPal, 4. So a lot of green. We'll just go all the way to the top, and we can see we had some small caps like Matterport, Redfin, Carvana. I mean, these are really small companies, guys. These are all up 18, 21, 24%, 8 point, AMC. And then we had SoFi finish at about 11.4 in the top 20 out of 100. Not bad, but you're also seeing, Robinhood, Coinbase, and Affirm also move right around the same levels. But they also had a good bounce yesterday, and SoFi kind of lagged. So, these stocks are still ahead, but, they do move very aggressively to the downside. That's something that SoFi hasn't seen, like an Upstart or Affirm, which those stocks need 15x's and 30x's to get back to all-time highs, when SoFi really only needs like a 4x. So that understand that's a big difference, okay? Those stocks move very well to the upside, but the downside, I mean, 30x and 15x differences to get to the peaks, when SoFi, once again, like a 4x. So yeah, SoFi doesn't move very aggressively up, but it's been kind of covering your tail on the downside, right around that $5 level, when Upstart 400 to 13. I mean, that's insane. All right, guys, we have a lot of growth stocks here. Of course, some of them are not, fintech related. Just some of the names that are always mentioned on television and stuff like that. Coinbase, Lucid, Twilio, Peloton, Snap, Roblox, Affirm, Hood, SoFi. Look at every single one of these companies' earnings. This was literally Q3 earnings days and weeks ago, okay? 540, 500, 400, 400, 300, 200, 190, 175. SoFi, just out of this group, had the lowest level of losses. Also, understand, declining 3 quarters in a row of losses, guys. So this is huge. I believe we're going to continue to see this number go down. I'm looking for next quarter, maybe a 40 million loss or something like that. But understand, student loans will get us to profitability. You're going to see positive net income. That's what we're wanting. I'm not talking about adjusted EBITDA. I'm talking about with all of the expenses accounted for. We're talking profitable potentially by Q2 or something like that, okay? So I think we're going to be going backwards, but just look, guys, okay? Let the bears, that are always getting paid on these little, investor plays, Seeking Alpha, let them write an article up on this, comparing it to some other tech stocks, okay? SoFi is not the only company out there that's losing money, and they're not even losing as much money as you think compared to a couple companies like this, okay? Remember, this is just 1 quarter. You got to times these quarters by 4 for a full year. So you're talking 2 billion, 2 billion, 1.6 billion, 1.6 billion, 1.5 billion losses, okay? So there's a big difference. Understand, these articles that you're seeing out there, they are not explaining exactly what's going on under the hood. And you can see things are not as bad as the bears tell you. So I'm liking where the losses are headed, and I believe once again student loans get us to profitability. And just looking at some of our competitors, guys, we have Upstart right here. The quarter is updated on Google. You can just look at each quarter by quarter. Let's take a look, guys. Revenue 31% year over year decline. Net income loss 56 million, 300% decline. I mean, these are pretty bad numbers. Thinking about, Upstart was actually ahead of SoFi at one point. So this is absolutely incredible. We don't have that strong management in place to keep your stock peaking. So 31% year over year decline in growth. We will move right over to Coinbase, guys. We have revenue 576 million, big revenue, but guys, 56% year over year decline and a $500 million loss, 234% decline. So these are big losses and huge revenue year over year decline. We'll move right over here to Robinhood, guys. We have updated revenue, 361 million, 1% year over year decline. So these earnings are better than Upstart and Coinbase on a year over year basis. Net income jumping up a lot better, 86% year over year incline. This is because they are cutting costs, cutting employees, saving on expenses. So still a pretty big loss, 175 million. And we'll move over to SoFi, guys. We can see revenue growth, 51% year over year growth, $407 million. Net income, $74 million, guys. It does say a 146% year over year decline, but those numbers are not exactly true. That's because SoFi had a massive, some type of write-off or benefit, a boost that, cut the losses in half from here. You're not going to see those all the time. I forgot what it was for. It was some type of like a stock base, write-off or something like that. So that's why you're seeing the year over year decline. You need to be looking at the last 3 quarters, which are increasing losses every 3 quarters, or numbers are coming down. You're talking 150, 90 million, 74 million. So the last 3 quarters are all going down in a row. This number just doesn't add up, on the year over year because of that, benefit that they got last year. All right, guys, I've been getting some questions. I haven't fully looked into these yet because, it just changes every single week. Student loan forgiveness is halted after a court ruling. Here's what you should do. Something to do with Texas right here. Federal judge blocked the program and declared it unlawful. It says 26 million people have applied for the program since the application went live in October. The administration plans to appeal. Here's what experts believe will come next for Biden's debt relief program. Scroll down a little bit. Biden administration says it plans to appeal the ruling. Scroll down a little bit. The typical appeal takes 6 months. It's also not certain if the case will be resolved in favor of the Biden administration. Should I plan on repaying loans? Yes. Given the uncertainty of the timing of the appeal process, it would be prudent for borrowers to plan for repayment. So yes, I've been getting the questions. Is Biden going to extend the student loan moratorium? I'm not exactly sure. That would be, not good for SoFi, of course. I don't really understand what, extending it again would, really do, because it was supposed to be, coronavirus correlated. And then the second thing was supposed to be, inflation correlated. And if you got inflation coming down and you're 2-3 years away from the pandemic, I don't really know what his case is going to be for extending it further. So I'm not sure, but it says worst case scenario, they will start to remake payments. Yeah, guys, so that is, very confusing. That Texas comes out and wants to ban this and says it's unlawful. I have absolutely no clue, and I don't really like to put my mind too much on this and stress, because we know that the outcomes are just so volatile with Biden and his extensions and stuff like that. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Just understand that student loans will most likely have a start date in 2023, so we're not that far away. If you made it to the end of the video, I want to say I really do appreciate it. I enjoyed doing this video for you. Be sure to smash the like button. Don't forget to drop a comment, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be keeping you updated daily. Have a great day. My name's Kyle.